Right now, medical marijuana use is legal in 14 states, including Maryland. Under Bush administration policies, federal anti-marijuana laws are still enforced, regardless of what was allowed state to state. Officials say now prosecutors will be advised not to arrest people who use it or provide it if they are following state laws.
Healthcare, voting rights, and Metro, they're all topics keeping D.C. Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton busy on the Hill this week. Delegate Norton joins us live this morning to talk about these topics and more from Capitol Hill. Good morning, Delegate Norton. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you.
Good morning, Tony.
Let's start with a bill that you are introducing this week that is aimed at making Metro safer. It addresses some concerns you have with the National Transportation Safety Board. Can you tell us about that bill?
A dozen years ago, the National Transportation Safety Board told Metro to replace the old cars. These cars go back to the 1970s. How did Metro do that? We are just in this appropriation period appropriating the first $150 million of $1.5 billion that we have promised Metro. Meanwhile, we had a terrible tragedy here on June 22nd where the front and rear, the front cars, indeed some whole trains, were composed of the 1970s cars that are sold. You don't even see such automobiles on the street anymore. The newer cars were not in the front, in the rear, and those who died, 7 of them from the district, were in that front car, the old 1970s car. What my bill would do with regional support, and I think the support of members throughout the House and Senate, is to say in the absence of any national crash-worthy standards, where you have indeed an interim safety and cost-effective procedure that could be taken, do take it while the systems gather the money to do the right thing, which NTSB was right to say was to buy entirely new cars. In this economy, and frankly in no economy that I know of, are you able to get that kind of instant response from legislatures, national or local?
So does the bill, because the National Transportation Safety Board made the recommendation, but Metro didn't take the recommendation, does the
Metro could not take the recommendation.
Not.
Therefore, Metro might have made an interim recommendation. All we do is clarify that they can make interim recommendations,
gotcha.
Such as, we think they could do it already, but perhaps the statute isn't clear enough. And what it says is, if there is a way, such as they have now found, they now put the crash-worthy cars in the front and the rear. Now, no cars. We have no national standards for what is crash-worthy. We have another bill to have the first safety standards for Metro systems throughout the country.
Okay. I want to ask you about D.C. voting rights. There's talk on the Hill now of attaching a D.C. voting rights amendment onto a defense bill in order to finally get the district a voting member in the House. Steny Hoyer was asked about this last week. I want to play for you. I know you've heard it, but I want to play his response, and then we'll talk about it. This is Steny Hoyer.
It's somewhat ironic that in the symbol of democracy around the world, that our fellow citizens, some 600,000 of them, don't have a voting representative in their parliament, the House of Representatives, the People's House. I think that's an egregious undermining of the principles for which our men and women fight, for which we stand, and to which we have pledged support of our Constitution. Now, whether or not that will be included in the defense bill, it is about democracy. It's about participation. It's about respect.
Very eloquently put, but what are the chances of a D.C. voting rights bill getting through in this manner?
I think the chances are good. After months of investigation by my staff and I, lots of rather technical work, we have found a way to attach the bill to the defense bill, and for that matter, to get the bill passed using a number of other devices in the House and Senate, if the House and Senate work together. I believe that the leadership wants to do this year. It must be done this year for all kinds of reasons. And if we want to do it this year before Thanksgiving, then one way to do it is to attach it to a must-pass bill like the defense appropriation bill. That is still being considered It is still being worked on. It takes